Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a foundation review and wear test. So I have here the Ilia, this is the Skin Rewind Complexion Stick. This is supposed to have a lot of skincare ingredients, a lot of claims. So I'm gonna be doing a foundation wear test, which means that I'll be applying this foundation with you here on camera, doing a wear test 4 hours, just a little check-in outside in natural daylight, inserting in some swatches, and then coming back at the end of my day, 8 to 10 hours later, and giving my first impression thoughts on this foundation and what I think of it. So if that sounds good to you, if you like foundation videos, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around. But with all that, I'm just gonna scoot you in closer. We're gonna get to applying and talking about the details of this foundation. All right. If you're new to my foundation reviews, I never apply any kind of primer. I'm just gonna start with my skincare, my sunscreen, which leaves a terrible white cast, but we're getting through that sunscreen and I will not be repurchasing it. So let me just kind of go over this stick foundation here. I have the shade 9N, which is Tupelo. It looks like it's gonna be a pretty decent shade match for me. I'll have to just wait and see. But this is the first Ilia product that I've tried other than the mascara. And I don't know if we're gonna count that. This retails for $48 and comes in 42 shades. So they are extending their shades, it looks like, from their serum and their True Skin, their other liquid foundation. There's more shades in this stick foundation. And this is claiming to be a foundation concealer in one. So I'm gonna test that out and use this both as foundation and as concealer. So let me just take my glasses off, we'll get started. Because I'm gonna use this as a concealer as well, I am gonna apply my under eye corrector because I always do that with my concealer and I want to get a true gauge on how this works if I was gonna use it for the most part in real life. Now, it says on their website that the best way to apply this is with a brush or with your fingers. So I'm gonna try both ways, do a brush on one side, fingers on the other. I don't always love using fingers for foundation, but I'm gonna give it a shot and we're just gonna wait and see. This is supposed to be medium buildable coverage with a natural matte finish. And I think, you know, that their lineup definitely needed something like this. Their serum foundations seem to be much more on the glowy side. And some of their biggest claims are that it's supposed to blur pores, be long wearing. It says it lasts up to 12 hours. And it has a bunch of skincare ingredients where over time it'll plump and smooth your skin. I don't really fall for that, using makeup as skincare, but those are some of the claims. And I know that Ilia is more of a clean beauty brand, so maybe I believe that a little bit more than some other companies here. But the shade looks pretty spot on, I would say. As far as my pores on the brush side, I don't know if I would say they're blurred. They kind of, I mean, it's not emphasizing my pores, but it's not blurring them as far as this side goes. Let me try doing this side with my fingers. Just gonna do a few swipes here. Now this is quite a pricey stick foundation, and stick foundations always do have less product. This only has 10 grams. So you're getting about 30% of what you would get in a liquid foundation. However, I do find, you know, with a stick that it lasts about the same amount of time as a liquid, at least for me. I don't really speed through stick foundations. I know some people do. But for me, it seems it lasts about the same amount of time. I think I like it with the finger side better, which is very surprising. It blended really easily it feels really lightweight on the skin, like I'm not wearing anything. And my pores, I don't know. They look less blurred with my finger. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of just, I don't know. I'm gonna try and build this up on my cheeks since it does say that it's buildable. Let's just see if I can build up the coverage just in the middle of my face here. I'm gonna use a brush for concealer under my eyes because I do like more coverage. And just to go over my skin type and what I look for in a foundation, I do have normal leaning dry skin, and I prefer a light to medium foundation, and I like a natural finish. So that's why this really called for me. It had all my buzzwords: buildable, medium, and natural matte finish, which is why I opted to pick this one up over Ilia's other foundations. I've actually had some of their foundations on my wish list to try, but then this one came out and it sounded much more up my alley because I don't prefer a very glowy finish. Even though I have dry skin, I don't like looking oily. I'm not a teenager anymore, and I had very, very oily skin as a teenager, so I think that's where that stems from. I'm really liking this coverage though, and it does look very natural. I still don't know if it's doing the best for my pores. It just wouldn't be a call out that I would put when advertising this. I wouldn't say it's pore blurring. I just wouldn't say it's pore emphasizing. And I don't know if I agree that it's medium buildable. I would say it's light buildable to medium if you want. Like, this is good coverage. I don't really want to build it up more than the 2 layers. But now I'm going to take like a little concealer brush. I'm going to try this under my eyes and just go directly into the stick like this. Get some on my brush, and let's see if we can kind of apply this as a concealer. Because it would be nice to just have one product. Having a stick foundation's very nice for travel. You don't have to worry about it kind of melting or the component opening up, getting all over your travel bag. So it would be nice to have just a foundation concealer in one. I'm also gonna, I think, maybe try to spot conceal. I have like a little blemish in between my brows. Maybe that'll be better for building up. And I don't hate it under my eyes. I think if you have really, really dry under eyes, maybe you wouldn't like this. It's definitely on the drier side. I don't even know if I would set this. I go around my nose. I think that is probably the ticket, is to use your fingers to blend it out and then use like a smaller brush to just kind of go over some places you want to conceal more. Because like you can see, it's not covering everything. I have like some little darker spots on my cheeks, and you can still see that, which is why I'm not saying it's like a true medium. To me, it's a light medium, but under the eyes, it doesn't look bad. Granted, I put a color corrector, but like I said, I do that every time I wear concealer. So because of that, I can usually tell the coverage because I'm used to layering it over the color corrector. It looks nice on my eyes. It's not creasing. I don't really have too many creases under my eyes, but it looks nice and smooth. It's giving good coverage, and I think, for me, it would be self-setting. I don't think, it feels a teeny tiny bit tacky on the skin right now, but I don't know if I would set this. I think that I'm gonna forego just an all over face powder and just use powder products to kind of do some setting, see how that goes. But let me apply the rest of my makeup and I'll be back to give you my first impression thoughts. Rest of my makeup is on, and this is what the foundation's looking like. Everything went on top of it really well, especially considering I didn't powder. I didn't powder anywhere on my face or even under my concealer. I left the concealer alone, which I normally always powder my under eyes. So, I think it looks really nice. Pores look better for sure. I don't know if that's the powder products. I used powder, blush, bronzer, highlight. Everything that I'm wearing is always listed in the description box below, but I can't complain with how it's looking right now. I would say it's a natural matte finish. I would maybe want it a little bit more matte. I don't know. I'm worried that while it looks natural matte now, it's gonna get oily pretty quickly here. Just because I see like a little bit of shine on my chin, a little bit of shine right here. I'm worried my natural oils are gonna break through really quickly. And hopefully that's fine if it does that, but hopefully it just doesn't break apart the foundation. Thinking back, I think that fingers are definitely the way to go, and then using like a more precise brush to just kind of spot conceal or build up coverage in the little spots that you want. Using that full face foundation brush, I wasn't a fan of. Other than that though, I'm gonna try and just keep an open mind on this foundation. I'm gonna go about the rest of my day here, and I will see you in about 4 hours outside in natural daylight. All right, so it's been over 4 hours now. Noisette, that's our newest pony. She wants to say hi. I'm gonna keep this short because it looks like my dog wants to chase the chickens. They don't take orders from me, I take orders from them. But the foundation's looking pretty good actually for over 4 hours. I'm a little shiny, just kind of in the middle of my forehead, kind of on my chin here. I'm gonna have to come back. Okay, where was I? The foundation looks okay, a little glowy just in my T-zone, but considering I've been outside for most of the day and it's pretty warm, I had to change out of my sweatshirt because it was so warm out. I'm happy with how it's looking. It looks more like a natural radiant finish, not a natural matte by now, but I'm okay with that. It doesn't look splotchy. It doesn't look like it's breaking apart anywhere. Considering it's been over 4 hours, I'm very happy with where it's at. As far as the concealer, like using it as concealer, it's hard to tell because I have been tearing up like quite a bit, which made my mascara run. We had to cut down a tree today. And to do that is not an easy process because once you cut down the tree, you have to cut it into little pieces so we can use it for firewood for winter. It's been an exciting day so far. That's life on a farm. So the sawdust essentially kind of just made my eyes water a little bit more than normal, causing not the greatest concealer wear test. Or is it a better concealer wear test? I'm not sure. The concealer hasn't completely gone away. It's for sure there, but the mascara is just kind of ruining it. So that's where we're at as far as the check-in. Really pleased so far. I like how lightweight this foundation feels. It really does just feel like I'm wearing nothing on my skin. So I'm very happy with that. And I'm just gonna keep going about my day, find out what the chickens are talking about. They don't like to stay in their pen, which is why the dogs chase them. They're herding them back and they don't like that. So I'm gonna go keep working around, and I will see you at the end of my day in another 4 or 5 hours after you see some swatches. I've just passed the 10-hour mark, so it is late here. It's been a day. The chicken escapade continued. We had to build a whole new fence. And of course, it's like the smallest dog, right? It's my mom's little Maltese that's 5 pounds who is chasing the chickens. But that's been sorted out, hopefully, for now. As far as the foundation and concealer, you know, I'm gonna scrap the concealer because my eyes really are just bothering me today and been really tearing up in both corners. I also tried a new eyeshadow palette today, so I'm hoping it's not the eyeshadow and it is the sawdust, but I can just feel like my eyes are not in a good spot, and it's not fair to judge the foundation concealer, the concealer part of this foundation on that. I will say, looking at it, like right here, it looks nice. It doesn't look like it's creased or anything. It's just more like out here and the mascara that's running on top of it. But I don't want to give like a final thought on that just yet. The foundation, I should keep my glasses off so we can zoom in just a little bit, still continued to just get oily in my T-zone, on my chin, in between my brows where my glasses rest. This area though, I did really pile on product to build it up because I do have like some breakouts. So that's where I applied the most amount of product. This might just not be, you have to be careful how much you're building it up. Pores still look good here. I did build it up a little bit on my cheek. That looks fine. You know, my nose where my glasses rest looks fine. So it's pretty transfer proof, I would say, especially considering how much I was outside in the sun. It's just my natural oils looking a little bit oily. But if this is how it looked after 10 hours, I would not be upset. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. I think the next time I try this out, I will just powder. I'll powder the concealer for sure just to see how that works, but I'll also powder my T-zone. I don't think you need to powder everywhere. Like the cheeks look good and it doesn't feel sticky, tacky at all because I used powder, bronzer, blush, etc. Just the T-zone is really what's concerning me, but it hasn't broken apart. It's not separating. It's worn down really nicely. I can't be mad at this for 10 hours. I think if you're like me, where you're normal, kind of leaning dry, you'll really like this. If you have extremely dry skin, I can't speak on that, or oily skin types. If you have either of those skin types and have tried this, of course, let me know what you think of it down below. I'm also really happy with the shade match. Again, I got the shade 9N and it matches me pretty perfectly. And I was a little worried because ordering foundation online can always be tricky, especially trying a new brand where I'm not familiar with how they kind of number their shades. Overall, pretty pleased with this. I can see this being best for someone who maybe likes to have minimal makeup, a travel bag. They don't apply a lot. They sometimes just like quick, easy makeup out the door. This would be really great for that, to have in your makeup bag in the car where you can kind of just swipe it, use your fingers. It does look best with fingers. Of course, I'll try it with a sponge in the future, just test out all different methods. But right now, fingers the way to go. And it was really just like smooth and buttery, weightless on the skin. So that's the kind of person I really see this for. Someone who wants a concealer foundation in one, something quick and easy. The only downside is it only has 10 grams of product. You will go through this quickly if this is your only kind of foundation. For me, that's not a problem, but for other people, it might be. I didn't use a lot though. Like I can still almost see the imprint on the top. It had like Ilia written on the top and I can still kind of see that. So I didn't use that much. Hard to say how long it would actually last you though. After that, I would agree with most of the claims. It is a pretty buildable coverage. I mean, I need to see how buildable. It seems there's a limit to that. I would say it's limit, medium. Really the maximum coverage you're gonna get is medium. It's more of a light buildable to medium. It is natural matte. I would say it's more matte than dewy for sure. This is just my oils coming through. So upon initial application, I would agree it's a natural finish, leaning more matte than dewy. And it does blur the pores. Does it do the best job blurring the pores? No, but it does blur the pores. It is long wearing, just like they say, and it's weightless. So I have nothing bad to say about this. It does exactly what it claims to do, which is all that I want from a foundation. So that's really just gonna wrap this up pretty nice and easy with a neat little bow here. I'm gonna leave you all. I'm ready to go take a shower and especially just apply something to the corner of my eyes, find out why the Maltese is barking. So this is where I'm gonna leave you all. I hope you're having a great one and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.